Hello again, everybody. I just want to take another moment to tell another story about George Carr. When I worked at the dealership, George and I were talking about advertising and how much money he spends on advertising in a month. Print advertising, the newspaper, radio ads, and of course television. Well, I think George hit a home run when he acquired the services of Tammy McClain. I'm sure all of y'all of my age and that group remembers the "Hey, I'm Tammy McClain" from George Carr commercials that would come on. And I think then that endearing quality she had brought people in. And in fact, I had a couple of calls from people that I knew wanted me to introduce them or set them up with Tammy McClain. So I asked George how she came about to be the spokesperson. And he told me a story about the advertising agency he was working with. I think it was in Little Rock or something like that. And he told the guy he wanted what kind of commercial he wanted, and he wanted a sweet woman to do the commercials. And they kept sending him pictures or videos of really beautiful women, I think. And again, I may be embellishing the story some, but the gist of the story was that he kept projecting all these photos of these beautiful, beautiful women. And he kept telling the guy that, I want you to find me somebody like the girl next door. And the guy just racked his head, went through all his files of different portrait of models that he had to do commercials. And he never could find anybody. So finally he was going to church one day, and I think Tammy was coming out, one of his next door neighbors down the street, and he saw her, and he approached her about doing a commercial. And lo and behold, that's how Tammy McClain came about, because he actually was a girl next door, a girl in the neighborhood. So, but I think that portrayed who George was. George was somebody that was kind of like the man next door. Somebody that you could knock on his door at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he'd be there with open arms. And I've seen some other stories of people talking about how generous George was and how caring he was. And that's who he was. And I just wanted to share that story about Tammy McClain and George Carr, and really going to miss him.